$1,000. And also a brand new car. Just like that. Keep where you got it here Wednesday mornings. I know it was kind of rough last week. I'm pretty sure, knock on wood, that they went back to the drawing board and figured it out for this week, all right? 7:34, let's go into the KUAM News Zoom room where we get our weekly update with the Mayor's Council of Guam. We have the President, Mayor Jesse Alec, joined this morning by Agat Mayor Kevin Siswico, who I kind of asked on just to play a little catch-up, Mayor Kev, because normally around this time of year, we'd be talking about what a great time we had at the Mango Festival, which was sadly a no-go. Right. How's it looking for next year, though, Mayor?
Half a day. As far as the Mango Festival, it looks good for next year. We were very hopeful this year, but, of course, in just following and in accordance with the EO, just trying to keep everyone safe. But I think since we're starting to open up, I think it may be safe to say that come January, we can start planning our annual Mango Festival. I know that everyone's been excited about it, and we had some that, were really bummed out that they couldn't come down and celebrate it. But, for safety, we had to just follow and adhere. So,
right.
We're excited.
Mayor Alec, you guys had a kind of a festival too, right?
Well, no, we do our fiesta. We have our fiesta in August. As a matter of fact, we're talking about that because there's some. There's a little, we get a little opportunity to open up, and I think we're probably going to do something. So I'm excited about it. We'll do it safely.
So you think you could pull it like a procession and all that stuff? Totally doable, right? With these current.
Oh no! I don't oversee the church. I church and state is completely different for us.
Of
but
course.
I don't know what the church protocols are going to be. I don't think the church protocols have changed as far as I know. But as far as on the village side, on the community side, I think we'll enhance the church celebration for sure.
Right.
Some way. I just feel like it's about time we do. We typically have something on Christmas. We typically have a big deal on Christmas in PD, and we'll probably work towards that this year. We didn't do anything last year, and we didn't do anything last year. We put up some lights, but we didn't have a big display.
How about you, Mayor Kev?
We had our other big event is our PD Pride brunch, which we do around the Easter, the springtime. That's a big deal.
Right.
So I'm looking forward to that this year.
Nice.
Yeah.
Mayor Kev, are you guys anticipating doing something maybe for Christmas?
We normally do our Christmas run, our candy run. So we'll do our little parade, and that still kind of has a social distance involved. But if we are able to, we normally decorate our display in the park, and we invite the kids and the Manumco to come down and sing. So hopefully, if it's allowed, then I'm sure we'll have a grand time again down at the park area while we do the official lighting of the park. So we're hopeful that we're able to do that. I mean, it was we get a lot of our constituents. We get a lot of visitors that come in to take a picture at the park, and so we're hopeful that we're able to do that during the Christmas time.
Right, Mayor. Something that's kind of a new attraction to your village, Mayor Kev, is this turtle mural that just went up.
Oh yes, we actually worked with the Micronesia Coalition, and it's a part of a program that they've had. We've also done bus stop paintings with them. That the mural was the second one, and then we'll be getting ready to post up our signs with different murals in the background of the ocean. In different languages, just kind of reminding those that use the beach areas to keep it clean. So we're just waiting for all the languages to make sure that it is correctly spelled and we don't offend anyone. So we'll be seeing that throughout the village too as well.
Yeah, there's also a pretty nice mural up at your office, right? When's that one from?
That one is actually, we did that because we couldn't do the Liberation Day float. And so it was our actual float designer, Noel, that, we came up with an idea that we wanted to, just put something onto our wall and, kind of relift the office and have it look alive instead of the regular colors that were on there. So the picture is the depiction of what you would see on a sunset right behind our office or right at the Sagam Visita. So
right.
That was our way of giving back to, just during that certain time frame.
Mayor Alec, let me ask, guys, because Liberation is a month away. Or what are you guys planning on doing in the village? Any events, memorials, that kind of thing, Mayor Alec?
In PD, we don't plan on doing anything in PD specifically related to memorials. But there is something that, I'll continue to work on. A lot of our people, as I learned from our Manaina, that, they march to the Asinan camp. And so that's something that I think my generation is not really aware of. And I want to bring more, focus on that Asinan camp. And so I do know that Mayor Bill is hosting that this year. And so, in future years, I want to go ahead and see how I can work with him to incorporate some of, our PD people in that memorial, simply because the one thing that I found is that our Manamko don't like to talk about the war.
Yeah.
And my grandparents, it was very difficult for them to, as a matter of fact, I had a conversation about this with my family last night, and it was difficult for my grandparents to talk about it. But when they did talk about it, they were really emotional. And, and that just brings me to the point about commemorating these memorials and how they're so much more important than everything else that we've, focused on. And so perhaps the pandemic has led us to something a little more focused, a little more important in commemorating liberation. And like I said, in this past year, perhaps there is a new direction that our liberation celebrations need to take. If we're so concerned about the lack of participation, perhaps, in the carnival, and the parade's always a good thing. We always see a big turnout in the parade, and we see a lot of participation in the parade. But when we look at the carnival and we focus our efforts on the carnival and how much money it costs to operate, sometimes I think when you try things over and over again and they just, they don't seem to flourish and they don't seem to work, just like in business, you kind of have to change things up and you have to, revisit your plan. And so perhaps this is the time to really revisit that plan of carnival for liberation. And it could really be anything. I'm not saying I'm not against it. I'm just saying that I think it's time to take a look at that again. So in PD, the Asinan camp is important. One of the other things that I found working on Eric Forbes was the Trinchera massacre. And so that Trinchera massacre actually occurred at the beginning of the Japanese occupation and not at the end. So I didn't want to combine that with the commemorations that we have in July. I think we'll probably do something else. What's real important about that is it incorporates a lot of our PD people. A lot of one of the bigger clans in PD, the Santos, the Tibucha clan, and the Limtiakos from Asen. And so one of the things that we found is that the Limtiakos from Asen were actually living in PT and then moved into Asen. So it's a big deal. I think there was I don't know how many were massacred at that site, but the site is actually in East Agana. So we'll see what we can do about that. But for this year, we're not really focusing any commemorations in PD. But we'll certainly join everyone else virtually.
Mayor Kev, how about, and also welcome to Mayor Al Ngata of Mangilao, who's joined us in the Zoom room. We'll get to you in just a second, Mayor Al. Thanks for joining us. Good morning.
Good morning, everybody. Off the day, dispenso.
It's all right. Chamorro Standard Time.
Yeah, we had some communication setbacks, but hey, my colleagues, everyone, KUM, off a day, and good morning, buenas, happy Father's Day.
Right on, happy Father's Day, Mayor Kev. So, what about you guys' liberation? Because I don't know what we're hearing, Jay. What are we hearing?
Nothing definitive as of yet. Yeah. I mean, kind of like the same thing as, we'll see where we are, and the goal is to have the herd immunity hopefully achieved by Liberation Day.
Right.
But as far as plans about the parade and island-wide celebrations, I mean, there's nothing committal as of this point.
Right. Yeah, and we would definitely be involved with something if it was to happen. Mayor Kev, have you heard anything? And then what are you guys planning anything in your neck of the jungle?
No, we haven't heard anything down here, but on the 19th, we traditionally host our Fena Memorial. It won't be that large, of course, but we'll still go down to the Cape site and pay tribute. Unfortunately, we can't have the survivors come with us this year, but we do have a mass for them to come in and safely attend. And then down at the Agat Memorial site, we'll be just laying wreaths there and doing a very simple blessing. Just so that way we can, of course, remember those that have passed away during the Liberation time. And on Liberation Day, if we don't have the parade like we normally do, we did this last year, and it was it was really nice to see. We actually decorated our official vehicles and our trailer, and we went around the village and threw out candy to the kids and treats, and we just had our own mini liberation within the village, still practicing social distance. And it was nice to see all of our constituents come out and wave at us as we were celebrating with them. So that's our plan. If we're not able to have the huge liberation like we normally participate with, then we'll just still celebrate with our folks down here in Agat in that way.
They want me to ask. Mayor, they want me to ask. They want me to ask what time's the fireworks in Agat?
Here we go.
Mayor Al, what about you? You're right across from the veterans. They have the veterans group facility there on the entrance to Back Road. Are you guys doing anything in Mangilao for Liberation?
Well, that's correct. We also this is going to be our third year celebrating the memorial as well here, and it's directly across the church, right in front of the office. So it's a Father Duenas Memorial as well. So we're going to be celebrating that on the 12th at 9 a.m. and it's going to be a simple ceremony, relief, just the laying of the wreaths, and just very simple and keeping it yet very beautiful, just to commemorate those that we lost in that time.
Right, so we're definitely observing something for Liberation Day, but it seems like it's going to be very muted. And on our end, we're just waiting to hear how much is going to be virtual and how much is going to be face to face. Because you have the Menengan Memorial, and there's just a lot of people, and I think people are ready to go.
To answer your question on that, of course, we're working with a public radio or public station, right? To broadcast that and see what they're going to do. So we have talked to them about plans to record the memorials. One of the reasons why we agreed not to disseminate a confirmed schedule just yet was simply because of the capacity, right, and social distancing. Because if we publish a schedule where most of the mayors are concerned that everyone will come. And so one of the things that we know is that there's no food. So we're not serving food because of the pandemic, right? And so I do know that I've shared the schedule unofficially with some people. And I say that because, again, we're not asking to publish it. And the Manamco can call the mayor's office, kind of just to check with the mayor to see what the mayor's capacity is and see how they can accommodate them safely if they can be accommodated. And so I know Mayor Allen has a large or an area that's outdoors. Perhaps I'm not sure how he's arranging that, but Mayor Kevin, of course, visiting the cave is a big issue because they have to be in a vehicle. So that's there are two different types of mechanics there. So we're it's being planned. The commemorations are planned.
Yeah, I'm sure, gentlemen. I'm thinking back to like our celebration.
Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, Jason Salas.
Oh, thank you. I'm thinking back to like how our community celebrated Easter, and how everybody headed down south to participate in the procession. I mean, there were a lot of people there too, and that was still during a time when the vaccine wasn't as widely distributed as it is now. So I mean, you figure if they pulled the procession off, they might be able to manage as far as like what Mayor Jesse was saying, like with the capacity limitations and stuff like that. They might be able to make considerations for that, I would hope.
And if not, Agat can bring his candy over to PT again.
Can I ask? I mean, And of course, these aren't plans that have been set in stone. But traditionally, we would have like one event where it would be an entire group that would go and and visit the caves or something like that. Could you at least say that you might be open to maybe having multiple instances of those things throughout the day with smaller groups as opposed to like one big one?
For the Fana massacre, it's well planned, of course, because it's in a protected area.
Yeah.
So we're on a normal time. The last time it was about 3 bus loads in, and we barely fit. We still had to load them into vans and into our officials to bring them in. And so I never brought the question up to see if we can kind of have access to it, but I'm not too sure if they'll allow us to do an all day.
That's a good point.
Open pass, but I know that when we get in there, everything is very well organized, and we're on a time limit as we are in there, and we're escorted all the way from the time that we get into the base all the way till the time that we leave, because it is a naval mag. So it would be a great idea. However, I think even with when we went last year, we had to follow in very, very close, and with the Council General, it's only a handful of us, and there are military people waiting for us there as we entered and as we exited. So maybe kind of difficult for us.
That's a good point. I mean, there are like a lot of moving parts to just do it once, and imagine trying to do that.
No, I went on that FINA thing one year. I think it was a couple years ago, Mayor, before COVID, and you're right. I mean, just going into the cave, there's that little walkway. I don't see how you do it social distancing unless you're single file, and it seems like it would have to be highly regulated. Highly regulated. Yes. Let's switch gears and talk about the senior centers, because I don't know if you guys got the memo, but Auntie Lourdes said that you guys can open on July 1st. So what are you waiting for?
Who wants to go first?
Yeah, go ahead, Mayor Al. Mayor Al, you look like you're excited.
I will go first to say that there is a plan, and the plan is being worked with the Division of Senior Citizens, and so we will be meeting with those mayors that have centers to let them know what the final phased-in plan is going to be. So we're right now we're at a stage where the requisitions are being prepared for all the equipment that's necessary, but not only for the senior centers but also for adult daycare. And so we're hoping that by maybe mid-July, all of that will be taken care of, and then we're looking at, of course, making sure that structurally everything is prepared for the Manamco, because again, there's the entrance and exit issues that we have to be concerned about, and we're all following the guidelines that are given by the grantor, and that's what DSC is Division of Senior Citizens is concerned about, and that's what we're following. And so I did say that of course we couldn't do it, we couldn't act on it immediately when the pandemic hit, because we're waiting on their guidance. And so because we finally received their guidance, the acting administrators has been really keeping us informed about what we can do and the possibilities. So all of that is being addressed. I know that each mayor has their concern for their center, and that's why we will be meeting with them this week to discuss their individual concerns that we can address to the division.
Mayor Al, what's your concerns with your senior center in Mangilao?
Well, we always here in Mangilao, as well as the filtration system, and of course I know that the president mentioned there's also RFPs for the seniors as well for the centers when they're putting out all the RFP for the sanitation for the center and stuff. And as well, at the end of the day, we're very concerned about the safety of our seniors, and of course the amount that's going to be going in there, and who we don't want to be like the deciding factor of who can and who can't. But at the end of the day, there are seniors, and we love them. We want them all to come back, but in a safe environment.
Got to do a raffle. They love raffles. Whoever wins, you get to come in.
Love them, man. For the most part, I generally miss my seniors. I miss the engagement. I miss, pretty sure my colleagues as well. But it's one thing to be going down there checking on them. It's another thing to be celebrating with them, their birthdays and whatnot. But I love them. I love my seniors from Mangilao.
There you go. Mayor Kev, you seem kind of surprised by this announcement.
Well, we were gearing up, to be honest with you. We were gearing up for sometime in August. And so when it came out in July, we were surprised. But man, I tell you, every Sunday that I go into to go to church and I meet up with the seniors, I get it all the time. Like, when are you going to open up the center? Already Sinahanya is starting to open up for bingos for at least 2 hours a day. When are you going to? So, it's just, again, just reassuring them and Uncle that we are going to reopen, but we just want to be safe while we are getting ready to prepare to take them back in. So I'm excited. I'm just as excited as they are to bring them back in, but I'm hopeful, as the president says, that, we get all of our RFPs together and we get all of the supplies down to the centers, because it's, I'm sure we'll be expecting a full house, and, that's going to be another challenge for us. We're only able to take in as much as we can. And so we'll see, but and I don't know. I don't want to be the one to tell one man uncle we can't take you in today, especially not the ones from Agat.
Well, just bring
bring back fireworks.
Right. Yeah. Then you're gonna have your fireworks. Well, I mean, since the governor made the call, when the governor come down and tell them, hey, you can't come in because capacity.
But I think for the most part, we've been prepping for it. We've been excited to take them in. We've done all of our sanitizations and in preparation for them. It's just, we're just waiting for the little other like the shields and things like that, just to make sure that we're ready for them as they come back in.
Is the
and the other thing, Mayor Kevin and Mayor Allen, the one thing that we've discussed with DSC that I'm sure you guys know for sure is that the congregate meals, and I mentioned this before to Chris and Sabrina, that the congregate meals increased over 50% during COVID. Right. So when you guys open your centers, the people that operate your centers are the ones that typically do the delivering of these meals. So who's going to deliver the meals to the rest of the Manamco that are not participants of the center, right? Mm-hmm. So we still have to address that need, that extra need for home delivery. And then the other thing is that we're waiting for guidance as well from the grantor on whether or not we can continue providing those meals to those Manamco that are at home and not participants. Because typically in a non-COVID year, the program only provides the congregate meal to those that attend the center, right? And that's why it's called a congregate meal, right? To get together, to congregate. Right. So we're still waiting on that guidance, and that's another issue because like Mayor Kevin said, how are you going to go and tell a certain uncle that you're not going to give them their meal? I wouldn't either. I mean, I could probably tell them in the next 30 days by August 1st, the program is not going to be able to deliver the meal. So at least the senior can have time to prepare by August 1st, how they're going to get their meal. So that's definitely one of the things that we're waiting on. That's a big deal. And it's a big deal again, because these same people operate your centers in Mangilao and in Agat and everywhere else. Right. So yeah, on top of being safe, right? You have to work those mechanics out.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It sounds like a recurring theme during this pandemic. Mayors left out of the loop. Nothing new. Mayor Al, back to school. I know that you're presiding over the educational capital of the island of Guam because you have the most schools in your village. So any plans here? Are you changing anything up for return to what everyone is saying is going to be possibly full-on face-to-face learning come August?
Well, I know that they're still discussing that with the face-to-face and of course the regular school attending the regular classes. But in terms of the stuff, I think they've done a swell job during the end part of the school year, and into as graduation. So it's beautiful to see them as well graduate and come out from those things. But just want to touch, a lot of the PPEs, I think, in terms of whether it be the school and like the seniors, because we as well have the functions. We also have seniors going in. Even the schools, I noticed they're very, even doing the traffic, checking the traffic. So they got a good system, and I just want to applaud them for doing their due diligence.
Right on. We are big fans of people when they do their due diligence. Mayor Alec, we got a minute left. Anything in the closing, guys?
Well, we do have, there's 3 bills that were introduced that will certainly help the mayor's council. So Senator Perez, I'm looking forward to the public hearing on that bill, and that's for the littering control. That gives us not only more power, it gives more flexibility with not only fines, but also community service for littering. So that's something that we look forward to. And then Senator Ada introduced 2 other bills regarding abandoned vehicles. And that too, we've been complaining about for years. And so we're hoping that we can address those 3 bills that will certainly make our work more efficient and more effective, really, in keeping because they're both related to trash, right? Littering and the abandoned vehicles. So we're looking forward to that.
Thank you, Mayor Kev. Anything in closing?
I think we're good.
Okay.
Thank you so much for having me on the show. It's been a while since I've come on, but it's always nice to come on and be with you guys on the link.
We're just wondering what happened to all the mangoes.
This year, thankfully, I was just sharing with one of my constituents. I said this, it kind of, the mangoes know that we're not having a mango festival. Right. This year was kind of slow.
Right.
And for the trees that did have. For the trees that did have, it was very, very little, or it was, some of them were really sore, so it wasn't the best year for the mango festival anyway.
Right on. Well, there you go.
It's getting ready for next year.
Guagua next year. Right on. Thank you, Mayor Al. I'd offer you a last word, but I'm scared you might say something controversial. No, go ahead. Anything in closing, Mayor Al?
Oh no, I'm good. Thank you. And just like to say, thank you for having us on the link, of course, and having us here with, and also you guys touching bases with what's going on, and especially for our community. I appreciate it. Thank you,
Mayors. This impromptu meeting of the Mayor's Council of Guam now adjourned. All rise. Adios. Hey, it's 8 o'clock. You guys ready? Let's jump on to KUAM TV right now. Good morning.